Hello, thank you for joining me for today's Facebook Live. My name is Tracy Held. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne in Australia. And so I thought it looked dark that my light wasn't on, but it actually is, so maybe it's just my eyes today. Now, before we start making today's card and I show you what it is, I just want to give you a bit of background information about this card. I belong to a tutorial group called Fantastic Fun Folds, and every month we have one tutorial. So it is, as it says, a fancy fold as opposed to a fun fold, so it has a little bit more to it. And we have the one tutorial, and there's 12 of us in the group, so there's 12 different samples of the same card. So it's giving you lots of ideas of how you can actually make the card. And of course, if you don't like any of the ones that we've done, or you want to use different products, go for it. It's just showing you the same card with lots of different options. Now, this is an annual subscription. It is, in my opinion, a really cheap subscription. It's $35 for the full year, so really not expensive. And I will put the link into the comments when I'm done here so that you can subscribe if you want to. What I'm going to do today is show you how we make the May card. This is a very unique card. I don't think I've ever seen it before. It was designed by Annette McMillan. And my card, my sample, I messed up. So what I'm going to do is show you how to do it without messing up. If you want the measurements for the card, subscribe to the tutorial. Okay, so it is a secret message card. I'm going to show you how to make it without messing up. And what it does is it's going to open like that, so you've got space to write your messages here. It will actually stand, and like I said, here's where I messed up because I put my secret message in the wrong place. What you're going to do is pull it apart like that, and your message should be hidden here. If you have the tutorial and you're wondering how mine looks right, it looks right because I cheated it. I put my message on the back of the card instead of on the secret panel inside. Okay, so easy to fix. I'm going to show you how to do it without messing it up. I am changing the products today, so what we're going to use is the Lily of the Valley stamps and dies. I'm going to use the same stamps that I used for my message because I just think that I hope your day is delightful is such a nice message for a birthday. So that's from Words and Wishes. And I'm using the Valley in Bloom DSP. I'll just quickly flip through that DSP. I have been using it so I don't have full pages of everything. There's that one which has the four corners all the same. You've got that one with the leaves. Let's try to get rid of all my little bits and pieces. That one is similar to the four corners, but it's just the two. And then we've got this one. I'll flip over to the reverse sides in a minute. The leaves, and that one's really pretty with all the flowers. And then your reverse sides are your ones that are a little bit plainer. Alright, so let's get making the card. I'm going to start, and I know this is very unusual for me. I normally don't do green, but because that paper is very green, I'm using my Granny Green card base. And we're just going to do some scoring. And just because I can't see my measurement, I'm going to turn it off. Okay, putting my trimmer to the side just for a minute because I am going to want it to come in, but we're going to fold so sides in, and then that middle score is coming the other way. Now, I need to cut, and I'm cutting between that first and third score line. And this is one of those where I'm looking at it now thinking, oh, I maybe should have had one prepared that I'd already cut, because, okay, that's all right. I haven't gone quite all the way, but I will fix that. Very hard when you're trying not to get your head in the camera. And if you haven't cut all the way to the score line, you can just go in and snip. Maybe looks like I didn't. I don't know whether that's just my eyes or whether I didn't cut evenly, but that's okay. And now we can decorate. So before I start, I'm going to just stamp my DSP. So what I've done is I've got that one which I said to you has the 4 corners, and I'm going to use that for the front of my card, and I'm using this one where we're going to see the back of it for the inside. So for the inside, make sure that the one that you're using actually has paper on the front and the back that you like together. And for this one, we're going to hope I can stamp straight. We're going to use the sentiment from the Lily of the Valley, so to a forever kind of friend. And I'm going to stamp it up at the top here. Okay, yay, I managed to get that. It's always scary for me stamping on camera because I always stamp crooked. And the happy birthday and that I hope your day is your day is delightful are long stamps. So I'm doing my favorite trick where I separate the stamps out, and I'm going to show you how I do it. I have stamped another one just in case I don't get it right on camera. So I'm just inking up that I hope, and I'm using the longer one. I did the exact same with the happy birthday because that's also a long stamp, but this one we're splitting 6 words into 3 cards. So there we go. I hope. Clean your stamp. Okay, that is very important because otherwise you're going to get ink everywhere else. Now, what I need to do is just ink up your day. So I'm going to just go on the corner of the ink pad. Make sure that I don't have ink on any of the other letters. And then I can stamp your day. Okay. Lucky I have another one because I didn't stamp that Y very well. I obviously didn't ink that up very well. So just make sure that you check that your letters are inked. I was being so careful about not getting ink on the next letter that I didn't get it all the way. And then is delightful. Okay. And we're not quite finished stamping yet because you can see I just stamped my panels here, and that's up to you. You can leave them plain, but I like them stamped. So let's just quickly do some stamping, and I just need a little piece of paper somewhere because here we go, that'll do. I don't want to stamp on my second one. All right, so on this side, I'm stamping my flowers on the top, and then the opposite side, we're going second one. Oops, try to get your fingers out the way. And I really should have a mat that I'm stamping on here, but I don't. All right, and then I'll go back and do it afterwards so that it's not getting too repetitive. I'm going to do that same stamping on the back. Now, just before I stick my DSP onto my card, I'm going to decorate the front of it a little bit more. So from the Lily of the Valley dies, you've got these lovely dies which cut out your stamped images, but then they'll also cut out a stem of the flowers. And where did I put the other one? Okay, I've put it somewhere. There's another little die that will cut just the flowers. It's got 3 little flowers on it. And I nearly gave myself a heart attack earlier because I picked up, the 2 were lying right next to each other, and when I picked them up, one came apart. And I thought that I'd broken the die. So that was pretty awful. I just need... Okay, it's one of those days where things are hiding from me. I had some of my little flowers that had been die cut because I wanted to show you how I did them, but never mind. Okay, so they're not working for me. I'm going to show you. There are my flowers. So cut the stems in green. Oh, here we go. I found one. And it's the one that I need for there. I had cut extra. So good, I can show you what I did. Sorry, some days I just seem to be way more disorganized than other days, and I don't know why. Okay. This is one of those days where nothing is going right. All right, I'm going to just pick up a little bit of the ink pad, and I had a water painter here. I really did, because I used it earlier. All right, we're going to just cheat this. All right, so with my water painter, it wouldn't be my shimmer pen. I'm just going to pick up a tiny bit of the Bailey Blush ink and paint it on. So that was quite light. And then what I did is, once that had dried, I then took my shimmer pen, which is also Bailey Blush, and just added a bit more to the middle there. Okay, so double purpose. It gave me extra shimmer, which of course shimmer's always better, and then it also darkened the bottom of that flower, so it just gave that little bit of extra depth. And then I'm going to glue my extra piece over my green blossom over here. And then we're going to stick them on. So here we go. I've die cut some of those leaves, and I'm going to put, I don't think it matters which way they go, but we're going to put one in one corner and one in the other corner. And you can decorate across the two. You'll see on my other one I actually put a sentiment that went right across, or you could put a label or a tag or anything on there to decorate. I'm specifically keeping them separate because I've got my little flowers and I want them staying on their separate ones because I don't want to cut the flowers across two pieces. So let's just, could have put adhesive sheet behind this, which would have made it easier, but I didn't, so that's all right. So just making sure that my flowers stay on their pieces of DSP. Okay, now this is going to be interesting because I obviously didn't check that one and I don't want my flowers hiding my sentiment. But the good thing here is that this actually has a really long stem, so it's not going to matter if we just snip that off. And then this can go onto the front of my card. Okay, this is so out of my comfort zone because it is so green, but you'll notice that I did bring a little bit of pink into it. Of course I had to, we can't not have pink anywhere. And then we're going to take these ones and I'm going to thread them through my cuts over here. Now this is what you're going to find really interesting. We're not sticking this DSP down. Okay, so it is staying exactly where it is, and then we're threading it through the other side as well. And when I was doing my stamping, I was so focused on the front of the card, I forgot that I actually do want some stamping on my writing panels. So I'm just going to pull in my same stamp again. And just stamp some flowers on the bottom here. And then this time I'm just going to colour my flowers. So this is my light Barely Blush. And again, I'm just colouring the bottom. And I'm going to do the same on the other one, but I'll go back and do it later so that you don't have to watch me colour too many flowers. And then with my dark Barely Blush, I'm just going in and adding a bit to the bottom over here. So sort of exactly the same as I did on my other flowers. And my writing panels are going to stick inside the card. Now we're going to get to the bit which is where I went wrong on my original card, which is why I said to you actually decorate or stamp the front and the back at the same time, which of course I didn't do, but that's okay, because now what you do is if you have your card together, you can pull those panels apart, and you're then seeing the reverse side of that DSP. And if I had stamped the back, they would have been stamped there. So pull it apart, that's the important bit, and then you're going to stick your message. Okay. That was the one I stamped earlier, and it actually has stamping on the back, but I'm quite happy with the one that we did. So make sure that if you're stamping a message, you know, you could have all the same thing. It could just be, if you've got a little happy birthday, you could stamp happy birthday on everyone, or you can do what I've done and use a message that actually makes a sentence. The other thing that you can do, which is what some of the samples in the tutorial have, is they don't have these extra bits that I've put on, but the message is actually stamped directly onto the DSP. So you can do that too, but then you just need to make sure that whatever DSP you've chosen is, you know, quite neutral and doesn't have a lot of detail on it, because obviously you want to be able to see your message stamped on the DSP. So for both of these, I've chosen to actually add extra bits, and if you're stamping on your DSP, again, either leave those blank or stamp on them and decorate them. It's all about you, whatever you like. Alright, so there we go. Now I have my secret message hidden in, and of course, because the DSP is loose, it has to be loose because of the way that the card is folding. You can always just shift it to hide your writing panel over there, and then you're just going to pull the card, which is going to open it up, and we can fold it closed. So I think that the only extra thing that I want on this card is, just because I can and I love them, some butterflies. Alright, so there's our card. So looks pretty from the outside. When you open it, you've got your writing panel, but then of course the fun bit is when you open it. I guess the only problem with this is whether or not the person that's receiving it is going to know how to find that secret message. So it may be one of those ones that you actually, oh, that's my flower sticking out there, that you actually need to hand deliver and show them how to use it. So I hope you've enjoyed this card. Like I said, it's in that monthly fun fold tutorial, and I will put the subscription link up. Have a great day, have a good weekend, and I will see you again next week. Until then, bye for now.